So my good buddy and I, Chris Goodwin, we've just turned up at the Bayford Meadows kart track for a day of testing the World Formula karts. So we're really looking forward to that. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the weather's going to play ball today, but we'll see what we can get out of the day and see what we can learn. So here we go. I'm first out for the day, so I'm quite looking forward to this. It's not playing ball. We've got my rain suit on, and we had two choices of compound for the wet tyres. So we're going out on the ones that were included in our day, and there's some also more expensive tyres if we find out these ones aren't going to help us out a great deal. So let's go and see what they can do. So as you can see into corner one, I'm being as cautious as I can possibly be. Last thing I want to do is spin this straight out in front of everyone with everyone watching me. Oh well, that dream didn't last long, dropped it into corner two. And round we go again. The tarmac in this corner looked really new and shiny, so I'm being overly cautious, which I later learned that actually that doesn't help. Being on the throttle and accelerating does allow the tyres to bite into the track. So it's about getting the kart stopped early and then getting it turned in and getting back on the throttle. But obviously being new to the game, it took a while to figure that out. Okay, so that's the first lap complete. Now trying to pick the pace up and learn what we can do without going round again. I'm glad to say after a couple of laps, started to get a hang of the car. Really wasn't any grip to speak of, but it was incredibly good fun sliding it around. So this was the first time I saw another car out, so that got me a little bit excited. Time to find out what the difference between me and this driver is, see if I can hunt him down and get past him. Okay, so that didn't take long, which was enjoyable, but to be fair, he'd only just come out and was finding his feet, so it wasn't really a fair comparison. And with the testosterone flowing and enjoying it, obviously I've gone and overbaked it into this corner and let him back through. Oh well, get the opportunity to go and do it all over again. Okay, so he caught back up to Stefan while he was getting used to racing in the rain, and got back past him, and time to get the throttle down and get some more laps in. Well, that didn't last long. Unfortunately, in all of our prep and all the talks and everything we did this morning, we didn't put any fuel in the car, so that was probably a ploy by David to get me back in the pits and so that I wouldn't just stay out there forever, because I was having some really good fun. So time to get back, put some fuel back in the car and get the next driver out. Okay, so I was sodden, time to get out of the wet weather gear. Unfortunately, didn't quite do the job I was hoping it would, and I was wet through. So Chris went out after me, similar experience. He'd never raced in the wet before, so he was really struggling out on track. So after he came back in, almost wanted to go home, but managed to talk him out of that, and we talked to David. So the three people that were sharing the kart for the day then purchased some better wet weather tyres. So I'll go straight into a clip of Chris out on the better tyres, and you'll be able to see or hopefully be able to see the difference that made for us. So as you can see, the kart's a little bit more pointy, and you're able to really attack the corners a little bit more with some faith that it will stick. Kart drove completely differently on these tyres, so it was nice to try and learn how to drive it all over again. And we did have some fun, although we were hoping that the rain went away so we could get some dry laps in later in the day. So as you just saw, he just went and touched the grass with his right front, and that just spun the kart round instantly, lost that contact patch, and another valuable lesson. So Chris has got somebody in front of him now. Sorry about the water droplets, can't do much about that, but having somebody in front of Chris will focus his mind, and let's see if he can hunt them down and get on top of them. So nice of the driver ahead to just warn us something that was coming up, and that's something that was coming up with Stefan. Stefan unfortunately spent most of his morning in these situations, but really progressed well in the afternoon, and looking forward to doing some racing with him next year. So Chris puts his hand up here just to indicate he's had enough fun in the wet for now, and he's coming back into the pits. Okay guys, so as you can see, the track is semi-dry now. We've got the slicks back on the car, and it's time to go and find out what these World Formula karts can do. So as you can imagine, things were a lot faster in the afternoon on the slicks. Really good fun, really enjoyed it. So join me on this lap of Bayford Meadows kart track. So just a little tweak of the neck there. Them higher speeds really showed my age, but had a great fun. So it hasn't been dry for long. I'm not sure how long it's going to be dry for, so I'm heading into the pits, hand the kart over to one of the other guys so they can get out and have a go too. Okay, so it's Chris's turn out. Looks like it's me, obviously. He was sharing my helmet today in the camera, so let's see how he gets on the slicks. I'm sure this is going to change his opinion after a pretty damp, slidey morning. So the tyres are warmed up for Chris now, and let's go for a lap round Bayford with Chris. And there we go, over the line. So to finish us off for the video, we had a little bit of fun at the end. We were all standing and watching, and Chris came across Stefan. So we've got two relatively inexperienced karters going toe to toe, so good way to end the day. Okay, so after a little bit of pressure, Stefan makes a small mistake and Chris gets by, but some good racing there, boys. So after a little bit more fun, that's it for today. I'd like to thank this man. Thank you very much, David, for dragging all the karts down, the effort, helping everyone in the pits and learning a bit about the formula and all the questions and advice over the last couple of weeks. So huge shout out to Gav as well. You'll notice, or may have noticed, that the kart Chris is driving isn't actually David's kart, and it was dry, we were all keen to get out, there wasn't a lot of time left. So Gav has actually purchased this kart to join the Formula next year and was kind enough to give up some of his own seat time so Chris could get a full dry session in, or half of a dry session. So massive thank you to him. He didn't need to do that, and that was we all appreciated the kind gesture, and one of the other reasons we're joining the Formula, for the camaraderie and the people in it.